Hi, welcome to the Maggie Walker summer sessions of Econ and/or Personal Finance. The session number 1 is going to be economics, and if you're in session 2, you will be in personal finance. My name is Krista Hamilton. I'm a Maggie Walker teacher, and I am managing this Econ Personal Finance experience for you. I just want to do an overview of the course and some important things that you need to know before you get started. Now, obviously, since you have found this, you've already hit the home page of the course and you received your credentials and you've logged in. The go-to student orientation is pretty straightforward. Once you hit the home page, get started in the class, you go to the student orientation module, and that's where you are currently right now. Now, in this, when we take a look at it, now notice that some things are dark and bold and some things are grayed out. So the modules are set up so that you must go through them in order. And to unlock the next item in the module, you have to complete the item that you're in. So here for the welcome video, now of course since I'm making the video right now, there isn't anything in there, it just says view. But when you guys click this welcome video, there would be the video here. There's also going to be some questions at the end of this video, so pay attention so that you can answer some short questions at the very end of the video, and you will earn points for this. This is the first time that you will be earning points for the course. Now, once you are done with this one was pretty straightforward. Notice it when I hit next, went straight to the blended student orientation. Now, let me go back to the module and show you why that happened. Anytime you click next and you're working through a module, it will take you to the next item that you need to complete. So you can see here, the first item was the welcome, the second item is this blended student orientation. Now also at any time, you can just come back to this page and click on the next item that you have. Now notice here that some items just say you have to view them, some items are going to say that you have to mark done, some items are going to say that you have to submit something. So pay attention to what it's telling you to do as you work through it. Now, this blended student orientation is from Virtual Virginia, and it's an introduction to how Canvas in Virtual Virginia works. You'll click here where it says VVA Blended Orientation Course, and it will then take you out of the economics course into the blended student orientation, and you will follow the instructions for that. You'll click on modules for them, and these are all the things that you're going to read through that gives you information about how the technology of Canvas and Virtual Virginia works. So you'll read required technologies, how to get support and help, how modules work and course navigation, assignments, quizzes, and so on. And when you get to the conclusion, and after you have read through all of these items on this, then you're done with this course. Now, at this point, to get back to our course, click over here where it says courses, and then click back on summer economics. And usually, see over here on the side, home, it'll pop us back to here. Then we have grades, modules, and syllabus. So modules are going to be where you keep coming back to see all of the items and where you are in the class. Notice it says here that you have to mark this done. And it won't let me go to the next one until I mark this done. So let's click on it one more time. And do you see right up here in this top right-hand side, there's a mark done. So once you have read through all the parts in the Virtual Virginia course and come back in, you would mark that as done, and then you can go to next, and you'll notice that it now unlocks the next item that you're going to have. You'll download this syllabus and read through it, okay, and you'll review that with your parent or guardian, and once you've done that, you're going to mark that as done. Now, there will be some questions at the end on the syllabus, so make sure you read it very carefully. Before I go to the syllabus and talk about it, let's look at a couple of other things that will be important for the course here in Canvas. This class is structured, there are 6 instructional modules beyond the orientation module that you're completing first. Each module has multiple lessons and multiple parts to each lesson. So if we'll take a look at it, basically what you're going to do, let's just take a look at Module 1, which is going to be what you will do after the orientation. That in this, each lesson, so notice Module 1, and if we scroll down, there are multiple lessons. Module 1 is lessons 1 through 23, and each of these lessons has several parts. An opening activity, there are objectives, there's content that you're going to be doing, some applications, and there's going to be a quiz at the end of each lesson. The quiz is going to be open note, open book, open module, open lesson. You can go back and look things up if you need to. You are allowed to Google, like if you don't remember a term, I'm perfectly happy if you want to Google what an S corporation is to help you complete these quizzes. If you took notes during the lesson, you may certainly use that as well. What you may not do is work with a friend. You and a friend may not work together and be telling each other what you think the answers are. This is for you to complete individually as you are doing it. I'm fine if you and your friends want to if you have a question on some content that you did and you want to say, hey, I don't understand what a demand curve is and what happens when I shift the demand curve. You can certainly discuss that with your friend. I'm fine with that. But when you get to this quiz, this is an individual attempt. Each of these little quizzes at the end of the lesson, you get 2 attempts at, and we keep the highest score. And it will tell you what you missed the first time. It won't tell you what the answer is, but it'll tell you what you missed the first time, so you can go back and reread the lesson and look up some stuff and then take it a second time. And it will count the higher score of the lessons. Now, as you work through these, there's a certain number of these that are going to be due each day. I'm just going to scroll down, and I know this is grayed out because it won't be bold until you've completed each of the items before. When you get down here to the bottom of a module, so there's 23 in the first one, that's the largest module. Once you get to the end of that, at the very end, there is going to be a test on that module. Now, the test, this is kind of like the big stakes thing. Each quarter has 3 tests, and they're each worth a certain amount of points, and you can actually take them twice as well. Now, the difference between a test and a quiz is that the test, it will average your scores. So that's the big difference that you have to pay attention to. So if you take it the first time and you're not happy with your score, you can take it a second time and it will average your 2 scores together. So if you take it the first time and you get an 80, you take it the second time and you get 100, then your average 90 would be your actual test grade on that. So you need to weigh your options about whether you want to retake it or not. The other thing that I wanted to kind of show you from here, so that's pretty straightforward. You're going to work your way through that. Now, the test honor policy is exactly the same as the quiz honor policy. Open note, open module, open lesson. You can go back and look things up. They're all unlimited in terms of time, but you may not Google the answers like to the Virtual Virginia course questions. Don't go to Reddit, and some people may have published these. You're answering them yourself or using Google to help gain knowledge about it, to help you look things up. You can also go back into each of the lessons and say, I don't remember, like for example, marginal benefit cost analysis. If there's a question on that, you can certainly go back into lesson 4 and reread that material to help you learn about the economics or personal finance things that you're learning about in the course. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about here, so that's kind of like working your way through the course. Now, the next thing that you probably are interested in is how am I getting graded? Now, we've already seen 2 things, that you're going to complete each of the items in order to unlock the next item. You will do whatever it says, mark done, view, submit, whatever it's asking you to do. If you are in an actual lesson, let's take a look at that. When you are doing the lesson, you must read everything, and I can see this, so I obviously can tell when you are just clicking through the slides because I will see that. I see how much time you spend on each of the items, so very clearly know that you have to read the items. There will be objectives, pretty straightforward. You'll read through that. When you get to the content, notice that there's now a mark done up here because this has the meat of the lesson. You'll go through the lesson, you'll make sure you read everything, and then, now I've been in here before, so it remembers where you were. So if you have to leave in the middle of it and come back, you can resume exactly where you left off. It will remember. And as you're working through it, at some point, I'm just scrolling fairly quickly. There will be places where you have activities, where you have to answer questions, and you would, obviously pick your answer and then submit. And make sure I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to pick an answer, submit. It'll tell you whether you're right or you're wrong, continue, answer the next question, and do that for the entire content. When you're done with the content, you'll come back up to the top, and you'll mark it done. and then you can hit continue. The only bad thing I don't like is they don't have a next at the top of the page. You just have to keep going to the bottom. They have a summary for you to read, and then after you read the summary and go through it, then you will take your assessment. All right, so now let's talk about grades and how the course is graded. So I'm clicking on the grade tab over here. And on the grade tab, what you will see is standard grading like we do at Maggie Walker. Quarter 1 is 45, quarter 2 is 45%. Your final exam is 10%. Now, the total, of course, 100. And over here, within each quarter, everything is basically total points. So you don't have to worry about what percentage or anything like that. You just basically look over here and you'll be like, hey, lesson 1 quiz that you can't unlock until you've done lesson 1 is going to be worth 10 points. A lot of the quizzes are either 10 or 5. Sometimes there's 2 quizzes on one. So lesson 4 obviously had a lot of material in it. So they broke it up into 2 separate quizzes, a 10 and a 5-pointer. The syllabus and honor pledge that you're going to submit for me is worth 25. So make sure that you do it and kind of make sure you read through the syllabus and you answer the questions about that. So you can kind of see where you are and what you earn. Your score will show up here, so you can see exactly what you've completed in the course. And it should be showing you what your current grade is, I believe over here, or you can print grades, but I think it will show you what your grade is in each category at any given time for that. All right. Okay, one last thing that I want to do is come back in and take a look at the actual syllabus and honor pledge. So after you've completed these items and you've downloaded and reviewed this with your parents, to begin the course, you should upload your syllabus and honor pledge. It is in more detail. I'm going to go ahead and flip over to that. It's the last page of your syllabus, class completion honor policy. So make sure you read through this. Make sure that you understand the difference between lesson quizzes and the module tests. You may work ahead on any of the items that are up until the exam. The exam is the only thing that must be taken on the date that it is in the calendar. The exam will not be available until that date for security reasons. So, but everything else may be done ahead of time. So if you want to just buckle down and do everything in the first week, feel free. You may work ahead as much as you want. But if you submit things late submission is penalized 10% per day with a max penalty of 30%. All right, and then down here at the bottom, this is your signature page. This is the one page that you should print out. I did make them a separate document in the assignment, which you are to submit that. So if you want to, you can just download this signature page, check these items, you sign, your parent and guardian sign, and then you will upload it. It must be in the correct file format, a JPEG, or a PDF. Those of you with iPhones, please change your settings. There are some instructions in the actual syllabus and honor policy that is going to tell you, because it can't be that HEIC file. It has to be in the right format. So there's some information on that syllabus or on that assignment for that. So I think we're at a point where I think you guys are ready to jump right in and go to beginning the course. So you're in your student orientation module, and you guys are probably at the point where you're ready to do the blended student orientation. Gives you the information about Canvas. If you have any questions, if you have tech problems, Virtual Virginia support, David Bortz first, and then email me last, because I'm not the tech person. I'm just the teacher helping you with the content of the material. But good luck. Let me know if you have any questions, and you may begin the course. Now we have one last thing before we leave this video. There will be some questions that will pop up. You may need to pause and go read the syllabus and do that before you can answer the questions, but we'll see what you remember from this brief introduction.